happening out there? Believe in Buckeye podcast. Hopefully, my guy Brian Browning can hop on here. But just quick first half recap. Ohio State jumped all over Oregon. There's always that feeling, looking at the team, the talent, that they could blow a game open like this, regardless of who they play, even Oregon. Honestly, when they played them earlier in the year, I felt like it could be a blowout, like a double-digit win. Um, just sizing up the talent, looking at the scheme, looking at the way Oregon plays defensively, and looking at the advantages Ohio State has. But it didn't happen. So you can only go by what you actually see them do. And then the Tennessee game went similarly, but at the same time, Tennessee is in Oregon. I think so far in this half, I think two things have happened. Oregon came out a little bit flat, right? They've been sitting at home practicing for I don't know, over a month at this point, right? Um, just waiting for the opportunity to go play a game. Meanwhile, Ohio State has been building because they ended the season with a really tough loss. You got to think it might have been Coach Day's lowest point um, at Ohio State, fourth loss to that team up north. So they're building. They're coming together. They're rallying together. They're trying to figure out, what do we need to do to actually go make a run. And they go out, they play Tennessee, they do what they do against that team, and then now they can see the results of what they've been trying to do. They can see the results of what they've been trying to build and what they've been working towards. So they're coming in with a confidence. And Will Howard said something that I agree with, but I wanted to stay humble going into this game. He said, "We haven't lost a game this year. We've just beat ourselves." And I know that's a very somewhat arrogant way of speaking to the media. I mean, it's true in my opinion, but it's not one of those things that you say right publicly. It's one of those things that you keep indoors. But in this case, it just felt so true. It felt like every loss, not even just the losses, even some of the wins, it just felt like they hadn't fully unlocked who they could potentially be. And the main reason why is because we hadn't seen the aerial attack. I mean, outside of the Indiana game, I think they kind of opened it up a little bit in the Indiana game. Um, so pre-Tennessee, we haven't seen an aerial attack that we know. No, forget about the team this year. We just know a Ryan Day offense can scheme up, right? Just going through the past of who he is as offensive coordinator, et cetera. We hadn't seen that type of attack in terms of what he's capable of scheming up offensively, right? Now you add in all of the talent on the offense. We hadn't seen him really unlock all those players in that way. So you knew that you knew what was you knew what the potential was, and we hadn't seen it, which is one of the reasons why, Buckeye fans in general, you Buckeye fans out there, I know there's a lot of scrutiny. Buckeye fans give coaches a lot of scrutiny, right? Almost more than deserved. But I think with this team this year, it's a unique year in that there's so much talent that the scrutiny, while it may have been over the top, it's like at points you really understand. You understand because this team just has so much talent. But just quickly recapping this first half, just the approach. Again, a very talented offense, a ton of players you can get the ball to, a ton of things you can do. But you got a guy in Jeremiah Smith who's a generational player. You got a lot of talented guys, a lot of high level draft picks, first day guys, second day guys, third day guys, et cetera, guys who are going to play in the NFL. But you have a generational guy who's a freshman. He's already played a full season, so he's not even a freshman no more. This is postseason. He's played a full season. He has a full season under his belt. He's felt the highs and the lows. He's no longer a freshman. He's at the next level. He's at level 2 of what he could potentially be. Starting with attacking the defense by going through him first as much as possible, as often as possible. That's always been the approach that needed to be taken. But as you can imagine, as a coach with a bunch of talent out there, a bunch of guys out there, it's easier said than done. But I like the approach. They have no answer for him, and because they have no answer for him, they're not going to have an answer for this offense. So they're going to have to figure him out before they can figure out the offense, and that's any team. I'm looking at some of the chats here. It said they could win the next 3 natties if he coaches like this. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. I mean, it's possible, right? But especially with Jeremiah Smith being a freshman. But there's other areas that need to continue to be shored up. Each year is his own entity. So yeah, but this is Ryan. So going into the year, me and Brian talked about it all off season. Like we felt like this was the year that Day essentially stepped into that who he's going to be as a head coach, because he finally figured out his defensive coordinator, etc. He finally understood. He felt the losses of losing to his rival. He understood, in my opinion, he understood the meaning and what's important in that game. He found a offensive coordinator that he can trust. He was able to take that approach to being the CEO of the team, and now he's able to build as a head coach. I was surprised at some points during the year, but I think I jumped the gun a little bit in that this is the year that he gets there, but it may not have been at the beginning of the year. Right? He still had a journey to get there. I mean, he's still growing, but I think he's really stepping into his own now. And it took some time, and it honestly takes time, regardless if you bring a coordinator and promote him to a head coach at a school like Ohio State. It's very unique. You got to give him some time to develop. Didn't care for the score, but this is I don't know how to say the name. Didn't care for the score before halftime. What the Buckeyes need to do to shore up that back end? Oregon's a good football team. Let's make no mistake about it. Oregon's a good football team. Their quarterback does a good job of making good decisions and making the right decision with the ball. The play before half that really was the tough play defensively is when they got the big explosive play. A guy got dropped open. They were playing coverage. Too many guys dropped too deep, left the guy open, and it became a big play. Once Oregon got down there into the red zone, they were going to be tough to stop. I don't think it's so much shoring up the back end. It's getting pressure on the quarterback. If you give Dylan Gabriel a ton of time, you give him a ton of time to move around back there. As a defensive back, you only could do so much. You got a guy, they run their concepts, they run their routes. If they're covered, now you're in scramble mode, you're chasing back and forth. And Dylan Gabriel is running and putting pressure on the underneath players to have to come up and make a tackle, and then he's able to still throw the ball. That's going to be tough on defensive backs. The defensive backs have played a great first half. Denzel Burke has played a great first half. He's playing just discipline. What happened in the first game, he got a little, he was getting greedy, and he wasn't playing disciplined football. People say he doesn't have the speed, all this. No, it's just discipline. You look like you don't have the speed if your eyes are in the wrong place. So the back end is good. It's really going to come down to pressure on the quarterback. You just can't give Dylan Gabriel all that time to throw the ball. I'm glad Will said it. Ohio State needs that edge. Yeah, I mean, Will Howard has not been shy about his confidence and his little bit of arrogance. And I think, the game versus Michigan was Will Howard's worst game, and I think the hit that he took in that game affected him. That's what I think. It may be, maybe not, but that was the one game where he was uncharacteristically who we've seen him all year. Now, what I will say, since that game, one thing that he was inconsistent with during the year was the explosive, the deep passes down the field. Man, he's looking good in those deep passes, man. Like, I think Will Howard is putting himself in a position to, get NFL scouts and GMs to pay attention to him based on how he's playing this postseason. He has a great target, generational talent at receiver, but look at some of those passes, man. That pass to Emeka Egbuka, some of those passes to Jeremiah Smith. These are very accurate downfield, elite level passes. that when we look across college football, all the different quarterbacks, go through the top 5 quarterbacks in college football, they are not making those passes consistently. None of them are doing it except a few, right? So I think Will Howard is going to during this run, he's going to get some attention from NFL scouts and make himself some money here, based on what he's been able to do these last couple games. I'm gonna get back and focus on the second half, but try to get my guy Browning on here to go live and kind of recap the game. But let's go, baby. Let's go. I got my Rose Bowl champion hat on from back from 2010 when we played Oregon. You know what I'm saying? My good luck charm hat for this Rose Bowl. I like what I see.